ActivityHD by AccountingWare is an advanced ERP system with a comprehensive feature set. In this video, we will highlight 3 unique features of the ActivityHD system that are not available in competitor products. The features we will highlight in this teaser video are financial reporting, automation, and active database. The one tool that is in every accountant's tool belt is Excel. Almost every financial statement is presented in Excel, no matter the source. PricewaterhouseCoopers stated this succinctly in their Financial Effectiveness Benchmark report. Excel remains the default financial reporting tool for most organizations, even after implementing advanced ERP systems. ActivityHD recognizes the place Excel occupies in the accountant's world. If most financial statements end up in Excel for presentation, then why not start with Excel and design the financial statements there? Indeed, ActivityHD has the ability to both design and publish financials in Excel. This is the only ERP system that has this feature. We will show you examples of how this is accomplished. The versatility of this feature is such that we can make this statement. If you can imagine the report you want to produce in Excel, and the information on that report originates in the ActivityHD General Ledger, you can produce it. After we show you the Excel financials, we will take you on a tour of our automation features. Automation in ActivityHD will relieve you of many mundane tasks and be the facilitator of integrations with third-party software. Finally, we will discuss the active database and how this architectural feature is the basis of our real-time dashboards and workflows. The best way to describe the Excel experience in ActivityHD is to show you a financial that has been designed in Excel with all the functionality. Here is a folder in ActivityHD that lists all the financial designs available. There are 48 financial designs shown. Let's open the top one, Income Statement by Production. Opening this financial design shows a completed workbook. This workbook shows the revenues and expenses for 2 opera productions, Rigoletto in November and Die Todesstadt in the following March. If we click on the subscriptions amount for Rigoletto, there is a little down arrow that appears to the right of the number. Clicking this arrow reveals all postings in the General Ledger that make up this $293,466. You can also look at the expenses. Here we see travel expenses for $64,944. If we drill down to the details, we see all the General Ledger postings that make up this amount. Further examining one of these postings from Concur for parking, we first see the journal entry. Then, looking at the AP Invoices tab, we see the $2,155 invoice. Drilling down to this invoice, we see the electronic representation of this invoice. Lastly, when we go to the Attachments tab, we can find the scanned invoice that substantiates this charge. So, as we build financial statements in Excel, not only do we see the numbers, but we have the capability to drill back to the details in the accounting system. This workbook is built with Excel outline capabilities, and as we click on the plus sign, the sheet will expand to show me the 4 performances of Rigoletto on November 5th, 8th, 11th, and 13th. We can look at the revenues for an individual performance like subscriptions for the November 5th performance and see the detailed sales information. In our case, the expenses were not individually recorded by exact show date, but allocated based on the number of tickets sold. This is a common way to account for performance expenses in a production. Of course, there are many other alternative ways to allocate the expenses. You might be thinking that you have never seen Excel opened from an application like this. Indeed, we store the .xlsx files inside the database instead of in the Windows file system. We do this for several reasons. One reason is because of versions. When stored in the Windows file system, you only have one version available. Here we see there are 19 versions. The original workbook was started in March of 2023. There have been 19 versions created since then. If we highlight version 11 in March of 2023, we note in the ribbon we can either open version 11 and look at it, or we can restore version 11 to be the current version. If I start working on a particular version and make a mistake, I can restore an earlier version without calling on the IT department to restore from backup. Another reason to store .xlsx files in the database is to protect them from prying eyes. It is much easier to apply security to an item in a database than a file in the Windows file system. And a third reason to store the .xlsx files in the database is that you always know where the official copy resides. Now, let's create a new financial design. We'll call this worksheet Test Demo. The key piece of information we need to provide is the reporting date for the numbers in the worksheet, so let's set it to January 2023. Next, let's take a moment to highlight that this is just Excel, a familiar tool you're used to. While we've added an ActivityHD ribbon for specific functions, everything else, like the Home, Insert, and Page Layout ribbons, remains exactly the same. If we were designing a financial report, we'd want to start by adding the company name at the top. Using the company name function in the ActivityHD ribbon, we can extract the company name directly from the database. But since this is still just Excel, we can also use the Home ribbon to change the font color to red, increase the font size, and make it bold. This means we have the full power of Excel while building out the financial design. Below the company name, we need to add the reporting period. Using the periods function from the ActivityHD ribbon, we can insert the date with just one click. In cell B4, we need to input the description of an account or group of accounts. For this example, let's use the account description function to display the description of a bank account. We'll enter the account code, 10,000A, and ActivityHD will automatically pull Vectra Operating from the database and place it in the cell. Next, we need to add the balance for the Vectra Operating account in cell G4. We'll use the balance function from the ActivityHD ribbon to populate this. And remember, we still have full Excel functionality, so we can format the number using Excel's tools, and even drill down into the general ledger to confirm the details behind the number. Now, do you notice how this is a completely different approach to using Excel as a reporting tool? Let's talk about how our competitors use Excel. Many of them claim to offer Excel reporting, but they typically achieve this by exporting to Excel. That's not the same as designing a financial statement within Excel. With exports, there's no ability to drill down into the underlying data, and any edits you make in Excel are lost the next time you re-export the data. Other competitors generate Excel worksheets, adding enough information to tie back to transactions. However, even in this case, the worksheets lack the ability to be edited. Any changes are erased when the report is regenerated. ActivityHD's approach is different. This is Excel, all of Excel. ActivityHD adds custom functions to Excel that dynamically pull information from the database, placing it directly into your worksheet. This means you have complete traceability to the underlying accounting data and can investigate any figure with ease. Plus, you retain full editing capabilities. You can add columns, rows, subtotals, graphs, anything, and none of these changes are lost, unlike with our competitors. And remember, if you can imagine a report in Excel and the information is coming out of the ActivityHD General Ledger, you can produce it in ActivityHD. In the ActivityHD ribbon, there's a Layout button, or wizard, that demonstrates common financial statement designs. Let's navigate to Sheet 2 of our workbook and select the balance sheet template for current versus previous year. This design provides one column for the current year and another for the prior year. Now, let's talk about the rows. From the drop-down, we have several options. We could list every account from the chart of accounts, but that would resemble a trial balance. Instead, we can choose from various roll-ups, which group related accounts together. In this case, we'll select the roll-up called Balance Sheet Summary. The result is a fully functional balance sheet with all the necessary formulas. The wizard handles the heavy lifting by setting up the design for us. However, this is a template, a starting point. From here, you can use your Excel skills to fine-tune the layout. Let's make some quick adjustments. We'll remove the placeholder headers and replace them with the label Assets. Next, we'll insert a few blank rows. And using the Excel ribbon, we'll add subtotals. Apply a top border. Format the cells with a $sign. And copy the content to the adjacent column. We can even customize the look by adding background colors to certain cells. Think about it. You've taken a template from the wizard and customized it to meet your specific needs, all using Excel. There's no need to learn a complex report writer. It's Excel, and you already know how to use it. No steep learning curve. You might notice that areas on the left and top of the sheet are shaded green. These are non-print areas that hold important functionality to easily extend the worksheet. For instance, in column G, we have the current year, 2023, and in column H, the prior year, 2022. What if we want to add 2021 in column I? Simply copy column H to column I. Change the header in I1 to current -2 years. And you're done. With just basic Excel knowledge, you could expand this template into a 10-year financial report in minutes. We like to say, if you can imagine a report in Excel, you can create it in ActivityHD. Let's take a look at a few examples of reports we've built. Here's a balance sheet with assets on the left and liabilities and capital on the right. Here's a departmental profit and loss statement, complete with graphs, a native feature of Excel. Next, we have a trailing 12 months report and an income statement for the current year broken down by month. You can create cash flow statements using both the direct and indirect methods. You can even build financial reports where data comes from separate databases. Here's a final example. A boardroom class financial statement with the balance sheet on the left, an income statement on the right, graphs in the center, and a picture of the company headquarters at the top. And every number on every one of these financials is drill-back enabled. Remember, if you can imagine a statement in Excel, you can produce it in ActivityHD. This brief introduction to Excel financial reporting shows you how different the ActivityHD solution is to other financial report writers. The second unique feature of ActivityHD is automation, which is an integral part of the system. We will showcase 2 automation examples. The first involves automating the process of handling prepaid expenses. Let's go to our insurance vendor and input a new $15,000 invoice for insurance. You'll notice that the insurance expense account is automatically populated from the vendor's record. The invoice is dated September 12th and covers insurance for 1 year, starting from October 10th. Since this is a significant expense, we want to distribute it over the months during which the insurance is active. We use a robotic process, referred to as bots, to automatically generate the necessary journal entries. Here, we'll use the Prepaid Expenses Extra GL bot. The invoice form has a specific Extra GL tab where entries related to prepaid expenses are recorded. We'll now run the Prepaid Expenses Extra GL bot, and input the start date, which is the effective date of the policy, along with the end date, monthly calendar, and prepaid expense account. The bot automatically fills in the entries in the Extra GL tab. The first two entries remove the $15,000 from the expense account and allocate it to the prepaid expense account. The next two entries prorate the expenses for the 20 days in October when the policy is active. You'll then see each month's expense breakdown, with the final entries prorating the expense for the first 9 days of October 2025. While you could manually calculate and input all these entries into the general ledger, the bot does this for you and stores all the calculations on the invoice record, documenting everything automatically. Wasn't that easy? Automation handles tedious and error-prone tasks with ease. Now let's look at a second automation example, one that displays a different aspect of ActivityHD's automation feature. We'll navigate to the dashboard and populate it with information for the AP Manager. In the AP Manager Audit section, you'll see an item labeled, "Has no W-9 on file." It indicates that 13 vendors need their W-9 forms reviewed. If we click on this item, it will display the list of those 13 vendors. Similarly, clicking on the 2 vendors without a payment location entry brings up those vendors. Vendor locations are critical because you can't disperse funds without a valid payment location, even for ACH payments. Now let's focus on the vendors missing W-9 forms. One of the more repetitive tasks for an AP department is obtaining and properly filing W-9 forms. You'll see how ActivityHD's automation simplifies this task. We'll open the vendor form and create a record for ABC Company. Watch the dashboard count. Before saving the ABC vendor, the dashboard shows 13 vendors without W-9s. Once we hit save, the count immediately increases to 14. This highlights the third unique feature of ActivityHD, the ActivDatabase Technology. Notice how the count updated in real time without needing any manual refresh. Looking at the vendor form, there's no information about the W-9 filing status, and there are no notes for the vendor. Now, if we check the Bot button in the ribbon, you'll see an option to send a W-9 request. Let's initiate this process. We'll choose the default option to send the request immediately, enter the vendor's contact email, add our personal signature, and set a follow-up date for the note. Now, keep a close watch. As the bot runs, a note is automatically created in the background. The bot log shows exactly what happened. An email was sent, and a note was generated documenting the action. Since we sent the email to ourselves, we can now open the received W-9 form. After receiving the completed W-9 form from the vendor, we upload it to the system. We extract the necessary data from the W-9 and update the vendor record. Upon saving, the dashboard count decreases back to 13. This demonstrates how ActivityHD automates form handling, freeing users from mundane tasks. It also highlights the real-time updating feature of the dashboard, further emphasizing the power of ActivDatabase Technology. We hope you have enjoyed this presentation on 3 unique features that ActivityHD has to offer. If you have any questions or would like more information, please contact us and we can schedule a demo to demonstrate these features further.